Welcome back to the channel, guys. I know it's been quite a bit since I did a video. Sorry about that. Just been busy. It's summer. Been swimming a lot. I had a lot of work and stuff. Just haven't really felt like recording a video anyway. But I did today finish my Department of Highways display here in the city. So this is going to be a permanent display. Now, it'll most likely not stay like this, as this is I'm gonna strive to keep this display moving a little, keep the vehicles moving around, keep it a little fluid and stuff, because that would just make it look better. But this is currently a display of the guys down at the DOH setting up to go work on a road. So they're getting everything together and stuff. So how about we just start with that? I'm going to zoom the camera back because I had to go to 0.5 so I can actually get everything. And we're going to start right over here with the first semi-truck. So this is a Matchbox Peterbilt semi right here. Let me just take it off the trailer. I don't think it says what type. Yeah, it doesn't say what type of Peterbilt. So around the 80s though is when the semi would have came out. So it's a nice truck. It is hauling this lowboy trailer here. Both of these have rubber tires, so pretty nice. And on the back is this Caterpillar dozer from Matchbox. It's a nice dozer. Don't mind the missing track. This is an older one, and these tracks are made out of rubber, so they're really easy to break. But yeah, that truck just finished loading the dozer up, and they're about to roll. Fun fact about these dozers is actually you can pop the cab off. It's a little hard, but you can. So check that out. This one's a bit weathered and stuff, so I got it from a papa. There's a good chance, honestly, he did this by on purpose, all the weathering, because this doesn't really look like natural weathering, but I'm not sure. The truck's also got some of it, but the trailer's pristine, other than some chips. So we'll go ahead, put that back into this display. Next, we have one of the line painting trucks here. So this guy will go in after the job they're about to do, which is working on the road. This guy will go in after and repaint it all. So they're just going to go and bring the truck down there. I have two of these. You can actually put a pencil in this if you want to and actually draw lines with it. I have a second one of those, but we'll get over to that later because that's in the secondary, and that's in a different section of the yard. Next up, we have our supervisor's truck getting ready to roll. This is a Matchbox original truck. It's got a hitch on it, which is what I needed it for. It is called the Troop Carrier. I think this is originally a military vehicle. But yeah, you can hook this little sign up here. This is the speed sign. You can change the speed limit on it and everything. It's pretty nice. I have 3 of these trailers, but they're only bringing 1 to this job site. So I'm going to go ahead, park this back over here, and hook it back up and get it ready to roll. Next, the maintenance yard van is getting ready to pull out. So this is got our cones and stuff. Well, some of the cones and other stuff like that, you know. Most of that, though, is held in this guy right here, which, hold on, the van was just called a Chevy van. It's an older Chevy van. But most of our cones and stuff is held in one of these guys. So this is what is called a attenuator truck. It's a GMC Top Kick, specifically. So these kind of trucks are really useful when you're working on the road. Well, it does say lane closed ahead. Hold on, let me see what that says. Matchbox Trans and Freeway Services. You got the little sign here. This pops down, which is the whole function of the attenuator truck. So let's say you have the attenuator truck here, and you park it in front of the lane that's closed. Well, let's say somebody's not. They didn't see the signs or anything, or primarily if they're asleep, they'll crash into this, which is bounce back, and that will stop them from actually going into the roadwork area and getting everybody hurt. So it's a pretty nice little truck. We do have one of those getting ready to roll. Let's continue on with this stuff. So next, I have a pretty big display here. So I will admit this is not 1/64th scale. This truck is not at all 1/64th scale. But I do not have a semi that can haul this much stuff. Hold on, I'm going to have to zoom out again. I do not have a semi that can haul this much stuff without it being this big. So this is, I think, an Ertl. Let me go ahead and detach this trailer. I'll fix the trucks in a minute. Yeah, this is an Ertl semi-truck. It's not officially licensed. It does say John Deere, but ignore that. So I use this in combination with this lowboy trailer to haul some of the bigger stuff. Okay, honestly, I forgot what I was just talking about because I had to run and help my mom move a shelf. Just pause the recording real quick. So, I think I was talking something about how I use this trailer and it's bigger. I use it to haul a lot of stuff at once. So, they're loading up to go do a job right now. Let's get the vehicles back on first. How they were. So, let's take a look at what we got here before that skid steer rolls down and ruins it all. I actually don't have the whole display here yet. You know, I'm bound to not even bring the skid steer with me because it's just being a butt. Let's see. No, that's just gonna be worse. I can't really put the wheel loader. That'll work. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got here. So what we're looking at is the skid steer on the front. This is a Matchbox skid steer. With the boom is actually removable on these. It does go up and down. So it's a pretty nice little piece of machinery. It's a skid steer. Use these for a lot of things. Next, a Matchbox excavator, which is not officially licensed. Neither is the skid steer. So a pretty nice little piece of equipment here. I am a fan. Let me see, actually, did they put a... So this is a D9. It says D9 on the bottom. Okay, so, but yeah, this is a pretty nice little excavator. You do have bucket articulation, and the boom goes up and down. Does not have the second joint, though. And it just gets worse. This casting gets redone another time, and the bucket is just constantly stuck like this. Like, literally, you cannot move it, and it's stuck like that, and I hate it. Which is honestly a pretty stupid pose, too, for it. But we have that getting loaded up, so they're currently driving that to the front of it. While this little wheel loader here, which is a Caterpillar micro wheel loader, and the 906 from Diecast Masters, I believe it was that made this. It's a 1/87th scale vehicle, but I do use it for the 1/64th scale layout, because it does scale somewhat nicely, and it's the small, like, it's the only way I can get mini wheel loaders and stuff, mini anything into this stuff. So it's a nice little vehicle, though. We do have that being loaded up too. It's currently on like this little back section here, and where it's so thin, it almost falls into the lines on that, so you have to be careful. And the last piece that is getting loaded up onto this trailer is a Matchbox backhoe. So in the INC livery, which is like Matchbox's main construction company. They also have Rannoch, and I think one more. But yeah, there that one is. Now, let's actually see it fully loaded up real quick, because I do think that they can all fit on at once, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, yeah, they definitely can all fit at once. It's a bit of a tight squeeze and stuff, but it can work. Really, I just have it like this, so it'll look like they're getting loaded up. Honestly, I'm not even going to bring this mini wheel loader, though, because it doesn't really work in this display, so I'm just going to set it back over here where it would normally be parked. So we'll just have the excavator getting loaded up, followed by the backhoe, because you know you don't normally have anything on these axles anyway. I think that looks pretty good, other than the fact that the skid steer is okay. Here, this is actually how we're gonna do it. So the skid steer parked here at the front. You got the backhoe rolling up towards it. So kind of like this. We'll put the bucket down right there. And then the excavator will be loaded up like this. So I think that looks pretty good. Pretty good. That's about the best I could get it. So, but for display purposes, we're going to park the excavator like this. Oh, I forgot it doesn't spin all the way around. We'll put the backhoe here, skid steer right there, already loaded up and ready to roll. So let's just move this piece back into the back here where it belongs. Put the excavator with it. Actually roll a little forward because I put it too far back. And the next piece that we're going to look is the loaded dump truck. So as you can see over here, we have a couple dump trucks rolling out. There's 2 loaded ones already. So let's take a look at the first one, which is this one right here. So this is a Matchbox Real Working Rigs, and it is an International Workstar dump truck. I knew it was an International, I just didn't know which one. So this one's in orange. It's the Malik company, so I don't know if that's actually gotten any more trucks or not. I don't think so, but, you know, this is a good-looking truck. It does have quite a bit of functionality, so that can go up. You can also open this back piece here, so that's more than most real working rigs. I am a fan of this casting, which is why I own 2 of them, this being a purple one from the Wees Bros Hauling. So, forgive me if I pronounced that wrong. Wees Bros, I think maybe Wise Bros, just spelled differently. But yeah, this is the same functionality as the old one, but is a nice truck nonetheless. This is already loaded also. Next, let's take a look at the dump truck that's being loaded, which is over in this section. So, we'll grab it and the respective wheel loader that is loading it. So, here's the display. So, I really wish I had more of this dump truck here. This is a Boley. I just love the color it's in. The truck looks fantastic. I do believe this is a Boley. Let me check real quick. It does not say underneath. Oh, it's a Smart Toys. I do think this was sold by Boley, though. Pretty sure. Next up, but it does. That does lift up. The tail, like the gate does open. It's a nice truck. So this is getting loaded currently by this knockoff wheel loader from some random Hot Wheel knockoff company. So there you are. That guy's being loaded to go to. Maybe eventually they'll get one of those wheel loaders down there on the job site. I haven't decided if I'd want one there or not, so that's why one's not being loaded up. Also, I'm out of semi-trucks. Next, the final piece of, vehicles that aren't where they're supposed to be, right over here. So, this section here would be like our gravel area and stuff, like where we get all the gravel from. And right now, we have this guy right here, which is a Ford F-Series. I think that's what, yeah, Ford F-Series. It's a dump truck, like a 1-ton dump truck kind of thing. Probably not 1 ton, but, you know, like in tow truck terms, this would be a 1 ton. So it's a pretty nice little one. This guy probably actually hauls closer to 3 tons. And then we also have this really old white wheel loader. It says payloader there. It doesn't have a name or anything, no company, nothing like that, but it does look pretty cool. Now, I know I live in West Virginia here, down in Logan. My DOH actually has a near identical wheel loader to that one, so. But let's just take a look over here first at the yard equipment, like the trucks that are actually sitting in the yard ready to roll. So, starting off with this, what looks like a knockoff Jeep. To me, at least, it's another one of those knockoff Hot Wheel companies. Kind of looks like a knockoff Jeep. It's orange, and it's not being displayed, so I went ahead and used it. I do have another one of these speedometer signs or whatever they are. And we also have an INC livery, one of those. So, and then speaking of INC, here's another one of those road paver, or not pavers, painters, in the INC livery. And then we have another one of those continuator trucks, this time in the MB Freeway Services, or, yeah. So, there it is. I like this color more, but the yellow matches the rest of my fleet more, so that's the one I used. I think that's the same, yeah, that back piece is the same, so. Would have been cool if this one came with that sign, or the other way around, and then this one came with, like, the opposite facing, but no, they just copy-pasted them. Next, we do have 2 of those trucks that they use for sectioning out, like, the manholes. So these are Freightliners from the Matchbox Real Working Rigs line. It says vacuum truck. It's a Freightliner business class M2 106V. So, looks pretty good here. You do have this functionality on it. This is actually probably one of the most functional real working rigs ever, because you got all of that plus this. So, I mean, that's a pretty good truck. I do own 2 of these because, well, I had one from childhood, and then I got another one because my uncle went and got me one for my birthday when they re-released them. So, that was a couple years ago. But this is my childhood one. As you can see, I broke it by accident, but it is broken. So, it just kind of sits here like that and is, like, basically never used. So, we'll go ahead and park that again. Sticking to the trend of real working rigs, I mean, this is now 4 trucks in a row that have been real working rigs. This is actually one of my newest ones, if not my newest. This is a street cleaner truck. It's an International. Pretty good looking one too. This is our main street cleaner or street sweeper, whatever you want to call it. The back hatch opens and it flips up. I wish this thing rolled. Looks like it would, but it doesn't. But yeah, the truck does look really good. I'm sorry if this camera angle's not right. I mean, I'm scrunched over in here because this roof is not that high, and I'm not able to see the camera too well. But next, let's take a look at a couple more city sweepers here. So, one's by Matchbox, and one is by a knockoff Hot Wheel company. Tell me which one you think is the knockoff. It's this one. But let's see what Matchbox calls these. The MBX Street Cleaner. So, this one is in yellow and blue. I actually have one of these down at the National Forestry because it has the forestry colors. So I put it there, and it sweeps our park streets. And then this is the knockoff one. So yeah, those guys are our secondary and third out street sweepers. And then we also have these small, like these tiny ones that we send down like the alleys and stuff. So these are called, oh, they don't even have a name on the bottom because they're so small. But I'll just call them the city sweepers because this one says city sweeper. I have 2 of these green ones. I have 1 white and orange one. And I have 1 white and blue one. So, pretty cool little vehicles there. Let's get these back into place. And then we'll grab the last street sweeper I own. And then we'll swap over to the other section. Well, actually, it's not the last one I own. Like I said, I have that other one. But this is from Maisto in collaboration with Tonka. It is a street sweeper, so there you go. This one is the last one to go out of the big ones. And now let's zoom on over here to the snow section of the yard. This is where we keep all of our snow equipment, since, you know, we do not use any of this in the winter, in the summer. It is all just stored in one section. So let's start with the number 1 snowplow. Now, these first 4 are all Matchbox Highway Maintenance Truck GMCs. So, starting off with this one, these are old GMC top kick trucks. This is the best one. It has a functioning snow blade, that's the word. You know, you got the salt box on the back. It's a nice looking truck. Next, this one is the newest one and actually matches the fleet colors. So, it's actually got a hitch too, which is nice. That is one thing this one doesn't have, and this one has over it, but this one doesn't have a movable blade, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, it's still the same casting overall. I like these colors more, but where this one has the movable blade, I still use it more. Next, we have another one with a blade, the last one with a blade, and this one is the second worst style here, and also the worst colors, because I don't like yellow that much. But this one doesn't have a movable blade, and no hitch. So, it's this, but without a hitch, or this, but without a posable blade. It's like in the middle. And then the worst one, even though it has a pretty good color scheme, is this one, who doesn't even have a blade. Doesn't have a hitch, nothing. It's, like, useless. It's just a salt spreader. But, whatever. It's here. Next, let's take a look at the rest of the snow equipment. So, that would be these 4 guys here. So these, I've actually seen these, like I know they're real life. I've never seen them in real life, but I know they are real. It's what's called a tractor plow by Matchbox, but it's just a plow truck. So this is like actually a Jurassic World one, but it's still here. And then we've also got this blue one here. and then 2 yellow ones, which are our main ones. So we'll put them back in there. Nothing much to say on those. They're all the same casting and everything. There's been no changes. They're kind of boring. So let's just move right along into the dump truck section, because why not? So we do have 3 of our dump trucks dispatched already, but let's take a look at the rest of them, starting off with the Hot Wheels Peterbilt. So this is the best iteration of this mold, or this casting that I own. I have another one of these where I'm not really sure if I just lost this back bit or if it just was recasted and didn't come with it, but this is a really nice blue one. The other one is red. It's from my childhood, so there's a good chance I just broke it off. Because, I mean, back then I did break a lot of stuff, sadly. But yeah, let's move right along into 3 of these identical trucks here. But I do think one of them is made by, yeah, one's differently made. So let's start off with the original. So this is a Tomica casting here of a dump truck. I'm pretty sure this is kind of based off of Peterbilt. It's also very similar to that old Boley we showed you a minute ago. But it does have that this is metal. This is metal. So it's like all metal. It's nice. Other than the base. And then these next 2, only the cabs are metal on them. So these are knockoff brands. We got a green one and we got a blue and dark blue. This is like a this is like a weird blue and it's silver. So yeah, these 3 are all basically identical trucks. And we do use them quite often. They're a bit smaller and they work well. Next, let's talk about this guy right here, which is a Majorette Renault, or Magrius, service bed truck. So this is actually red, even though it's showing up as an orange. Flips back. It is a triple axle. But yeah, nice truck. And then our small dump truck, other than like the 1-ton, or the like pickup ones, is another Majorette. This is a Scania. So this is a bit of smaller. It's a single axle dump truck. So this is actually double, sorry. Not triple. But yeah, this is just a single axle. And for our final dump truck, it's just another one of those Matchbox F-Series. I do have 2 of these in the fleet here, so there's another one. Next, let's take a look at the construction equipment, which is the last bit of this video. So I'm just going to move it back over here. We'll start with the backhoes. I do have 3 more to look at. So we have 2 identical orange ones, which are the same as that INC Matchbox one we looked at earlier. So we'll go ahead and move that back there, and then I'll grab the last one, which is another Diecast Masters 1/87th scale mini backhoe. All these Diecast Masters are Caterpillars, so this one actually has good functionality. That works right there. The outriggers are permanently out. This goes up and down and stuff, so pretty nice little vehicle. Next, yet another one of those, but this time a dozer. Oh no, these are Norscot, not diecast. So this is a D5GXL from Caterpillar. It's a dozer. Pretty nice one. And then I have 2 Boley dozers here. So these are both orange dozers. They're pretty small little guys. And I have 2 of them. So next, let's take a look at the second skid steer in the yard. This is a green one. It's the same model as the last one. Just green. And we also have another one of those wheel loaders that was loading up one of the, like, the Boley dump truck. And then the excavator that's being loaded up, I also have a second one of those. Identical. And then finally, I have 2 of this also. A lot of these vehicles you'll see I have 2 of. These are the Boley excavators. So these are actually older style excavators. They're pretty nice looking. I love these things. You have good, pretty great posability on these. 2 different points in the boom and then also the bucket. So, and they do a full 360, which is something that one does not do, the Matchbox one. Yeah, I do have 2 of these, and they're pretty nice. So we'll just park those back. They aren't used as much where they are older. Just like that white one. The white one's not used except for around the yard, just loading trucks. It's not actually brought to job sites where it is older like that. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully. I'm not sure when that will happen because honestly, I never know when I'm going to make these videos. It's kind of a spur of the moment decision. But yeah, bye.